Hey, great people, thank you for joining us. I am Chidi Akunna.
And I am Victor Akunna.
Hey, if you're new to our channel, Foundation for Family Affairs, please feel free to subscribe and turn on the bell next to it so you're notified when we drop our content. At Foundation for Family Affairs, we talk everything romance, intimacy, and
And
family.
family.
And our mission is simply to connect hearts and raise healthy
Healthy families.
families. And that's why what we're talking about today is really important, okay? Are you ready for marriage? Hey, lady, hey, gentleman, are you ready for marriage? So we're talking about some points you must take into consideration in answering this question. Are you ready for marriage? I stumbled on a research and it said, a research conducted in 2019, and it said, just answering this question gives the marriage 25% chance to succeed.
Wow.
25% chance of success. Can you imagine that? Just answering that question. Because I mean, there's a level of preparedness you need to have for marriage. I'll let you say something.
Yeah, I remember some years ago when I was trying to get married and someone asked me that question. No, the person actually asked me, why do you want to get married? Oh my word. I didn't have very clear reasons in my head why I wanted to get married. And that's one of the ways I knew I wasn't ready then. So but that question set me on a trajectory to be able to research. That's why I agree with that statistics that says asking yourself some of these questions helps you to clarify it. Because the topic of marriage is we are so immersed in the concept of marriage. We see it around us, good, bad, and the ugly, but we see it through other people's eyes. We don't really see me, Victor. Am I ready for marriage? Am I ready for the kind of marriage I want? So the moment you ask yourself that question, you now begin to find out that you've not even have a picture of the kind of marriage you truly want. You now begin to ask yourself, am I ready? Who is the most ideal person to work this journey with? Yes. All right. Am I that kind of a person that the person will be looking for? So questions begin to come. And for most people, they begin to realize that they are not really ready for what it requires, what marriage requires, the demand marriage is going to place on you. So that's a very good question we would like to look at today. For the people that are single, people who probably lost their spouses, they want to get back into the game of relationship and dating and marriage. All right, they've experienced they've had a good experience of marriage. Unfortunately, they lost their spouses. Now they're thinking, can I recreate this experience? All right, am I ready? Someone who's probably saw kind of relationship their spouse is his or her own parents' relationship that she wasn't quite happy about, or he wasn't quite happy about. And he made some subconscious decision that, you know what, this is not for me. But now you're beginning to reconsider. But how do you know that you're ready for marriage? Those are the things we'll be looking at for today.
And there's one thing to like a concept, but it's another thing to be prepared for what comes with it.
Yes.
That's why this is really crucial. Yes. Okay. And the first point, we have 5 C's we think are crucial for you to consider.
Yeah.
And the first is a clear vision and direction.
Yes.
Clear vision and direction. Yes. You said something earlier when you were saying, when you have clarity about what you want to do, then you know who can go on the course with you, on that journey with you. Yes. When you have a clear vision for your life, a clear direction for your life, you're able to tell who I need to partner with me on this journey. And like we like to say, it's life partnership. Really important. I mean, when people go assessing who should be their business partners, it's no joke. Then how about life? Life partnership. You need someone who is an ally. You need someone who is a buddy. You need someone who has who is bringing in value, okay, who's bringing some value to the table, okay. But you wouldn't know that if you don't even know what direction you're going in life. Can you imagine that? Like they would always say, the blind leading the blind would only lead them into a ditch. Okay, so you need to have a clear vision for your life. So what we're saying in essence is that it starts with you. It starts with you. Where are you going? Why are you here? What's your mission? What's your assignment? What have you been called to do?
We see marriage not as an end. We see marriage as a means to an end. That's why we're asking these critical questions. What do we mean by the means to an end? In other words, the purpose of marriage is not marriage itself. The purpose of marriage is what both of you can accomplish as spouses. All right. So, for example, we are doing something together. That's why you are seeing us, right? We are doing something together, trying to raise healthy family. That's a mission. I couldn't do that by myself, so I needed someone to travel with me on this journey. And when we started talking, you find out that she also had the same desires. So what did we do? We joined forces. And that's one of the purposes of marriage. So once you decide, you find out what is your purpose. What do you want to accomplish as a spouse, as an individual? All right, you now begin to say, who can travel this journey with me? Because one of the things I realized is that you see very good people, but they are traveling in different directions. So they are not, sometimes marriages break down, not because the people are evil. It's just because they are frustrated hanging out with each other.
Yes.
All right. So you have someone who is going north, so the other person is going south, and so they begin to have what we call irreconcilable differences. So the first thing first is to know where you want to go. What kind of marriage do you want to create? What kind of situation do you want to have? And who is the best person to create that with you? And who would that person be looking for? Because that's the part that often misses when people that we talk to kind of talk, say, oh, what are you looking for? I'm looking for a guy who has a good sense of humor, who is very hardworking, who, someone who looks after people well, who treats people. And those qualities are really good qualities. But the question is, for this kind of a person that you are talking about, what kind of what would it be their own avatar? What are they looking for in a spouse? And do you fit that profile as well? So it's a two-way thing, because the person needs to agree to be in a relationship with you.
Yes.
The same way you are also looking out for the person. So while you're looking, you have to be growing as well. Yes. And that's one thing I would like to emphasize. So the first point talked about the vision. Who are you looking for? That way, that will save you a lot of time, because it's not every proposal that you will accept. It's not everybody you allow to be close to you, because some people will think, oh, you guys are dating, but you guys are not dating because it doesn't even fit your profile, your spec. So don't waste your time with such proposal or such relationship, all right, in that regard.
And trust me, you don't really want to spend all that time doing trial and error.
Yes, no.
That's not what you want to do. Okay, so the other C we have for you, second C, commitment. Yes. Marriage is built. I mean, the way marriage works, it works on commitment. All right. I have to rely on him. People really need to think about this. What he does affects me. Okay, how the level of commitment he puts to the relationship, into the relationship, also decides the output we get. Do you understand? Sometimes people come in and they just think, I can play half measure. Okay, I just do a bit, and then they're not happy with the results they are seeing. No, that's not how marriage is wired to work. Okay, you've got to put in your all. You've got to give it your best.
Yes.
This is life we're talking about. Okay, so what's your level of commitment to things generally? Let's start with that. Okay, because sometimes you see this even in the workplace. You're talking to some people and they feel it's okay. I don't really have to push.
Yes.
Okay, you're building a habit. You're building a lifestyle. Okay, and then you get into marriage, it's like, okay, you've been used to giving half measures the whole time. So what's the point giving my all? Okay, and when we're talking about this, we like to talk about, we're so big on loyalty. Loyalty. What's your level of loyalty? What do you even think loyalty is? If he has to rely on me, do you now understand that it's like a lot of things about his life would depend on what I do? Okay, it's just like, sorry, I'm going to use a very gross example, but when we talk about people cheating and you go out and you do something, right, without thinking that your actions could also affect your spouse.
Absolutely.
Because who gets the STD at the end of the day?
Absolutely.
It's your spouse. Yeah. Do you see? So these are some things we need to put into consideration.
Including reputational damage. It rubs off on you.
Exactly.
One way or the other.
Exactly.
So commitment is, I think that was something we were saying when we were preparing for this. When you are in a relationship with someone, commitment is expected. It's expected to be a given. All right. So you guys will now begin to make decisions together. You are expected to commit to the outcomes of those decisions. So, for example, we decided that we want to pool our money together, want to buy our property. It's expected that we commit to the outcome. We commit to the process as well as the outcome. All right. So I won't just come tomorrow and just say, you know what, sorry, I want to do something, and just take from the money that we have agreed
Ouch.
to buy a house with. It can be very painful. So that's what she was talking about, loyalty. It's for us, loyalty is very important. You must be loyal to your commitment. You must be loyal to your spouse. You must be loyal to your family. You cannot throw your family under the bus because of pressure from outside or from any other person. So it's very important. So commitment is a skill that must be developed. All right. So that's why I like what she was saying, half measured. Oh, don't worry, it's okay. Oh, it's okay. Then you bring that into a relationship.
Yes.
Your spouse, you both agree that you pick up your son, and then you forget because you just feel like, oh, my wife will sort it out. Oh, my husband will sort it out. Those kind of things create friction in a relationship.
Very true.
So commitment is expected. If you are not the committing type who cannot emotionally commit to someone because you don't want your heart to be broken, you don't want to do, you are not ready for a relationship. You're not ready for marriage. You have to be committed. And commitment is not tested when things are okay. It's tested when there is an issue on ground that you have to push through, even though it's not convenient. That is when commitment is tested.
Very true. Very true. I like that. Okay, so the next C we have for you is communication.
Yes.
Are you able to communicate in a mature way? How do you communicate? How do you express your feelings? How do you express your needs? How do you express your expectations? Okay, when we look at it, you then realize that it requires a level of growth from you. You need to be doing some growing. Okay, in marriage, I mean, we can't have a good relationship if he's not meeting my needs as a woman.
Yes.
Okay, but sometimes I must express those needs. But then it matters how I express those needs. You see, and even expectations.
Communication is such a basic skill for life, and what you do in marriage, you do life together with your partner. So if you're unable to articulate that your emotions, you're unable to articulate your expectations. So I have certain expectations that she's not even aware of. And so I'm not able to articulate it. Or I'm unable to listen. As she begins to talk, I'm beginning to give her a solution, because communication is about listening. Not hearing, listening. Hearing is hearing the sound she's giving out. Listening is understanding the intention and the purpose and the meaning she's trying to put across. So that's when communication is complete. All right. So ability to listen, to maintain eye contact, ability to be present. Some people are not present. It's a skill. You have to develop that. So while you are talking to someone, your mind just wanders off. You have to be present, and people feel, they know when you are truly present. All right. So ability to learn those skills, the communication skill, ability to talk correctly, your body language, your facial expression, the tone of your voice. If you watch newscasters, you see when they are saying something that is, maybe someone died nationally, you see the way they change, they modulate their tone. You say, we're so sorry, it just come to our notice that this. It's a training. So once they sound that way, whatever you are doing, you pay attention. Why? You know they're about to say something different. All right. So ability to use your voice correctly, the tone of your voice. Thank you. Your eye contact. That as your spouse is talking to you, you are engaging. Very important in a relationship to be able to communicate how you feel, and things that you are expecting from your spouse.
Yes, I think I remember this. We had this conversation with this young man, and he was trying to wow a lady he's been talking to, right? And then I think you were talking with him, and you were talking about colors. So I'm not so prescriptive, right? It turned out that the color he wanted to wear, because he was going to do the big thing to propose to her, the color he wanted to wear was a color she had said to him she doesn't like. It only came out in the conversation because you asked, what would you be wearing? Why do you want to wear that? And I think he was saying, oh, it's my best color.
I like it.
And then I really like it. And then somehow he slipped and he said, even though she doesn't really like it. So the question was then, if she's told you what she doesn't like, do you see that you were not actively present to take it on board for it to influence your action? That is a typical example. And then in the relationship, you start having a problem. For that instance, I mean, you're going to propose to somebody. I mean, even when you're going for work interviews, right, for job interviews, you go to appeal to make your interviewers like you. Okay, so they are your object of attraction at that point, not what you want. So you're going to propose to somebody. You know she doesn't like this color. How about playing with colors she likes? So when you walk in, she's like, oh, you've caught her attention from the start, even before you start saying anything. Okay, and that's just us talking about communication. But there's something important we also I think we need to talk about, because you're talking about expectations. Sometimes people have unrealistic expectations. And we know that's not very good for marriage. There's a level of flexibility you must come into the relationship with. We're talking about if you're ready for marriage. Marriage requires flexibility.
It does.
Okay, you must be able to reach a compromise on certain issues. And not stay stuck to, this is how I want it, this is how I like it. And that's why a lot of marriages are crashing today. It's just two people being stuck on what they want, right? Not for the good of the marriage. So you were talking about us coming together. We're coming as a team. Right, so there are two people involved. It just communicates that there are times that I need to compromise. I need to make some compromise on certain things and not stay stuck to how I want it.
Sometimes because people lack the words to articulate what they want, so when they're unable to express themselves, they shut down. And they expect their spouse to understand. And then the spouse is even more confused. So if you're that kind of a person that you're unable to put your point across when someone is challenging your point, and you just kind of shut down to say, you know what, I'm not going to talk about this. That is going to create a lot of conflict situations. All right. So ability to communicate to your spouse, to say, you know what, to be honest with you, if you can't verbalize it, write it out. All right. So you have to be able to find a way that works for both of you to be able to articulate, because if you are constantly shutting down, after a while you become a pattern in your relationship, and then no form of information will go through every time. And communication is so critical that it's going to impact your parenting. It's going to impact how both of you parents. Impact your money. Impact sex. It's going to impact many things. So if you're unable to articulate yourself very well, you will not be able to even create the kind of vision that you guys want, or begin to articulate or communicate that to your spouse. Very important for you to fundamentally look audit your communication skill and see how you can really improve things around it. Very important.
Nice. All right. So the next point we have for you is connection. Okay. How in tune are you with your emotions? How in tune this just speaks to emotional readiness. Okay. How in tune do you love yourself? Do you enjoy your own space? Because it's one thing to enjoy your space, okay, and then are you ready to accommodate another individual in that space? Because some people just like their space. I think I was discussing this with some ladies, and I was saying there are people, there's a way you like to distress. When you stress, there's a way you like to relax, there's a way you like to chill, okay. But when you're so guarded with your space about like, oh, I don't want anything rough. This is me. When I'm stressed, I don't need anyone in my space. Then it's saying something. Do you understand? So you need to get to that point where you're ready to accommodate somebody else in your space. It takes some emotional readiness for this to happen.
Yes, you must be able to, accept the fact that somebody else is going to ruffle your space. All right. Even if you want to get a pet,
certainly,
you must be willing to accommodate that. Sometimes we know it mentally, but we've not accepted it emotionally. All right. For example, people know that having a baby will distort their plan. They know it mentally, but they don't accept. They don't make accommodation for it. You have to make accommodation. You have to accommodate that emotionally, so that you don't become this rigid person that people become very tensed around when they're around your space. All right. It's okay if you are the type of person that is very finicky about specific things, but at some point you need to make emotional adjustment, especially for your spouse. All right. So if you have a younger one living with you, for example, that, anytime they will come, they open the door, they don't shut, you complain many times, or they just go to the wardrobe, somebody's there, use them to practice. All right. I'm not saying you're going to get married to a spouse that will be disorganized, but you may get married to someone that may not be as organized as you, because people have this skill capacity in different levels.
Yes.
All right. So I'm very, very, very organized, but my wife is better organized than me on some issues. So it's so after we got married, you just begin to find out that when it comes to this area, I don't even struggle. She helps. Why? There are other areas that I'm on top of it. I know when this should be done, when that should be done, when that should be done. She just allows me to do. That's the benefit of what we call complementing each other's skill.
Right.
All right. So very, very important. Yes. Ability for you to connect with yourself. Enjoy your own self. Don't get into a relationship to say, I'm going to get married to someone that will make me happy. All right. I'm going to get married to someone that will improve my life. Yes, that's good. But go into a relationship with the mindset that you're going to give to someone, that you're going to be a benefit, add value to someone. Right. All right. So connect with yourself and then be willing to accept somebody else into your space.
Yeah. Yes. Something jumped at me when you were speaking, because at the start you were talking about people who may have been married and lost their spouses. Okay. Or people who have also been in past relationships. This is where it becomes critical. The question is, have you moved on from your previous relationship? Yes. Okay, because you're now coming in to create something with somebody. You need to be coming in whole, with a whole state. Okay, doing away with excessive comparison, just wanting to compare this person, wanting to make this person fit into the image you used to have of your ex. Yes. Okay, or your late spouse, whatever the case. Okay, you must move on before you get into another relationship. We always want to emphasize that.
How do you know when you've not moved on? You keep talking about that relationship. Yes. Your conversation with that new person is history driven. All right, is hindsight driven. It's not foresight driven. In other words, not what we are going to do together. One thing that I knew when we were dating was that my wife was, okay, this is how we're going to raise our children. It was always forward looking. So if someone is always talking, this is how my other partner used to do, the examples, in your head, even if you're not having that conversation with him or her, in your head, you are constantly looking backward, looking at that person. You are constantly snooping their social media handle to check what they are up to, look at their children, like that would have been my son, and you've not moved on.
These things happen.
Yes, it does happen.
Yes.
If you've not emotionally moved on, you will not create that space that we're talking about to be able to accommodate at someone else. All right, that thing must be done emotionally first to say you now know that I am ready for marriage.
Brilliant. So the last point we have for you is capital. Are you ready? Are you financially ready to take care of yourself? Okay, sometimes it's so scary when we hear people say, oh, I need a rich guy. I need to marry a rich dude, I just know that my financial problems have been solved forever. I was having this conversation with someone in the course of the week, and I asked her a question. How about you be the rich girl? What's wrong with that?
Very good point.
What's wrong with that? Okay, so you need to be, it just speaks to how you see yourself. Am I someone who can make it? Am I someone who, the value you place on yourself, what's your perception of you? Okay, do you think you can hit it big? Do you think you deserve to be rich? Hey, and wealthy? Okay, so it just speaks to how you even think about yourself, which you may need to even correct at this point. All right, so you are coming in, I like what you said earlier, you're coming in to offer some value.
Yes,
I'm bringing something into this relationship. I'm not just coming to take. Yes. So are you ready financially?
Very, very important, because marriage will put a demand on you financially. Both of you have to do things together financially. And if you disagree in the area of finance, there will be a lot of pain. All right. There are some people who they earn a lot, but they're not different from people who earn half the amount of what they're earning. Why? They don't have this way of pulling resources together. So everybody's doing their own individual thing. All right. So marriage, the way it's set up that you have a common way of doing things. Doesn't mean you have joint accounts, all right, but at least there will be some form of checks and balances. Both of you can agree on how to do things. People, from our own experience, and from what we've seen, people who pull resources together, who make the financial decisions together. That's the key word here. Who make financial decisions together, they gain better mileage than the people who earn twice, if even sometimes 3 times more, but they make separate financial decisions. All right, I've seen that many times. You see these people who pull resources together. They may be slow at the beginning, but you will never catch them that they have a better last year than the present year. They're always moving forward because she's bringing her best ideas. I am bringing my best ideas, and then we are moving together. This is what we need to do. Okay, we have a plan now. This is what we're going to do this year. This is what we're going to be doing by every year. And so now tying up to what we talked about earlier on, communicating these ideas with each other. You see how they're all linked together. And then now, after we've communicated those ideas, we are now committing to those ideas, because situations will come that will challenge what you've agreed as a spouse. To be like, oh no, you guys, I know you said you're going to get this, made this project done this year. Something else will want to come and shift you away from that. You must be able to commit to that, which links us again to the clear vision. If you don't have something that you are looking forward to as a spouse, it's going to affect a lot of things. So all these points are kind of, they're all linked together. Very important. And these are some of the ways you'll be able to know that I think I'm ready, not just to live the life of an independent person, but to live the life of an interdependent. Yes. You are now interdependent with someone else who is equally strong, equally capable as you.
There was something I was just thinking of while we wrap up. Okay, and if you haven't subscribed, this is the right time to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button and the bell next to it, so you're notified when we drop our content. But there's something I was thinking of when you were talking. Sometimes people are so wealthy, but I don't think they're wealthy in their minds. So they want to hold on to their wealth, and they don't think their wealth should benefit their spouses. We've seen this sometimes when we work with couples, right? And one person is holding on and saying, "Oh, but I gave him this amount the other day." We're not trying to excuse financial indiscipline. No, but this is where you can see that the other person is making effort, but it's not meeting up yet. And one person is holding on and saying, "Oh, no, I can't keep giving. I can't keep giving." Then I'm wondering, why is it a marriage? Why have we come together? It should be for the benefit of both of us. Okay, one person shouldn't be lacking behind. I am there to pull the other up. I am there to support the other. So if you are as a single person at that state where you find it difficult to help people financially, you need to work on that. Okay, you need to be willing to give. Some people will say, "Oh, when I see someone I love, I'll be more liberal with my money." No, it's a habit. You're building it. You're becoming. So you need to learn the art of giving. Okay, give cheerfully. Okay, so you want to say something?
Yes, what I want to say is that if you're a single person who is thinking about getting married, and you feel that you keep badging yourself, or keep experiencing some kind of relationship that's keep repeating the same type of pattern, you keep meeting the same kind of guys or the same kind of ladies, and it always ends up the same way. All right, let's have a chat. All right, we're going to have a 1 hour free chat, no commitment from your end. All you have to do is to fill the form, what we call in the description in the Intimacy Builder program. Just fill out the form. We'll look at it from time to time so that we can now send you an invite for you to be able to, click on that invite, book your own time in the calendar, and then we can have a chat to know what the problem is and see if we can work together. If we can work together, we'll talk to you about the terms and conditions, and you will smile at the end of the day.
You definitely will. Yeah. Assurance. Guaranteed. Okay, so until we come your way again, it's goodbye from us.